Hey gamers, I learned how to play Sekiro recently, despite how hard the game tried to stop me from understanding how it worked. I only had to play the game about 3 times before I understood what it wanted from me. So in the beginning, you go back in time to like a memory or something. You do some sneaking around until you come to this burning building. As soon as you walk in, this grapple icon grabs your attention, away from the guy with the key that you're going to need later. So you jump up there and continue on until you reach this choke point. A choke point with a shitload of guys blocking your way? I thought I was playing Sekiro, not Dark Souls 2. You go up a big wall to get to the next section with a shitload of guys, but there's ways around them. You can run across the roof, you can sneak under the porch, and it primes you for thinking about using stealth in an interesting way for the next section. The next mini-boss is there, and he's surrounded by a shitload of guys. I thought I was playing Sekiro, not Dark Souls 2. So the setup in this area is neat. It's a set piece for doing some stealth kills, until you look a little closer and find out that stealth isn't really a good option and you just have to run away. You find this cool porch, and you poke around, and you can take it to this area behind the boss arena. Wouldn't it be cool if this connected to the other side and it allowed you to sneak around to surprise the enemy somehow? Yeah, that would be pretty cool. This is a dead end though. You can run here when you want to disengage. But also you can just go around the building out in the open, so there's no point to even sneaking under the porch. Why is this even here? You're supposed to go through the big hallway that everybody can see you in, and then backstab a guy, and then run away. Even if you go through the big, obvious hole where everyone can see you, they still just give up when you get to the dead end. And after doing this for like 10 minutes, you can finally fight the boss. You're gonna do this again, by the way. By this, I mean there's not only multiple drunkard fights, but also this exact same guy in this exact same spot, but with a purple guy. And every time, you have to spend 10 minutes clearing out the area before you can fight the boss. There's 4 of these drunkard fights, 3 Shichimen, 5 Headless, 2 Snake Eyes. This game reuses so many mini-bosses that you'd be forgiven for thinking that you were playing Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin Edition. Now you can fight the actual boss. The run to the boss has one guy in the hallway blocking your way. You can't just run past him. You have to fight him or interact with him in some way on every single boss attempt. I guess just to make the process of learning how to fight the boss a little bit less fun. There's enemies behind you that you could use if you needed to kill enemies between fights, but they put this one here just to waste your time. Exactly one easy-to-kill enemy in a hallway? What is this, Dark Souls 2 Steelbook Black Armor Edition? This game is pretty funny in how it misdirects you. My favorite is when you run across these 2 guys talking about a guy in armor. Apparently it's poorly fitting and could come off pretty easily. They drop a key that leads you to the shed in Genichiro's backyard where you get the spear. The spear says it can pull armor off, and it came from those 2 guys who talk about a guy in armor that could come off. So after I jump over the wall and stab this naked guy in the back, I'm thinking, wow, I can't wait to run across a guy in conspicuous armor that I can pull off with this spear. I'm going to feel so smart for noticing things. If you continue down this path from the guys with the key for the armor-stripping spear, you end up in the mountain temple. You go into this bridge, and a Dark Souls character with very conspicuously different armor walks out to you. You can't do any damage to his vitality, and if you get a death blow, he mocks you, saying that your blade won't do anything. But then you remember the chisme from the guys with the spear key saying that the armor made the guy impervious to blades. Oh, you think. This must be the guy. His awkward movements make it seem like he isn't too comfortable in the armor, so the solution must be the spear. Except the spear doesn't do anything to him. Remember the naked guy with the dogs? Apparently that's the guy in the armor that they were talking about. You're supposed to parse this bib as armor? Obviously. Are you some kind of fucking idiot? So if you're like me, you might have come to Sekiro after playing lots of Souls games, where one of the fun ways to deal with enemies is kicking them off of cliffs. So one of the first things I tried in this game was kicking people off of cliffs, and after trying for an excessive amount of time, I determined that you can't actually knock enemies off of cliffs in this game. You want to know how you're supposed to beat the armored knight? So the armor stripping spear doesn't do anything to the guy in the armor, but it does work on the ape. I only knew this because I looked it up online, because why would I use the armor stripping spear on a naked ape? Like, you can pull the worm out, because pulling out the insides is like pulling off the outsides, or the ape itself is some kind of armor that the worm is wearing. Like, if you think about it, if you think really, really hard. Speaking of the ape, check out this cool attack. Nice grab hitbox, idiot. Where'd you get it? Dark Souls 2?